Welcome back. This is the 19th segment out of 25 where we are exploring evil and suffering in bite-sized pieces. Now, everyone has a worldview. A worldview is simply how a person views the world, how they believe the universe actually operates. Now, I have mentioned on a number of occasions during this series that I am working from the perspective of a biblical worldview. And the reason that I'm doing that is because I'm convinced that the biblical worldview is the accurate worldview. It really does represent how the universe operates. Now, it is really important for people to understand what their worldview is. Most people, everybody has a worldview, but I'm convinced that most people have never sat down and really thought through, nor could they articulate in any detail in a comprehensive way what their worldview is. But it's really important that people understand what their worldview is, because whatever your worldview is going to determine, concerning evil and suffering, how you think about it and how you believe you ought to respond to it. Now, when it comes to worldviews, there really aren't very many to choose from. There are only 4 basic worldviews. And let me run through these with you with the encouragement that you do whatever you need to understand what they are. Ask yourself, okay, where does your belief system fall underneath these 4 options? And what are the implications of your worldview concerning evil and suffering, and how you ought to respond and how you might cope? So, here they are. The first one is atheism. This worldview maintains, of course, there is no God. This is Western secularism. This is philosophical naturalism. There is nature, and that's all there is. There is the material world. There is the natural world. There is nature, but there is no supernatural. You've got the natural, but no supernatural. So there's atheism. The second would be deism. There is a God. However, this God is distinct from creation because he is the creator, but he is separate from, totally distant from the creation, much like a watchmaker would create a watch and put it all together and wind it up and then put it down on a table until it winds down at some point. Now, the third worldview is one under which 3 major faiths fall. And these are known as Abrahamic faiths: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Now, they're called Abrahamic faiths because all 3 of them find their root in the historical individual Abraham. Now, for all 3 of these, there is a God. He is distinct from the creation, but he is involved with creation, and he is communicative about his creation, and he has revealed himself, not comprehensively, but revealed himself as to who he is and what he's like. And he has communicated what is right and what is wrong and what the standards are. Now, these standards and also the identity of this God are going to differ between these three, but still, what you've got is a God who exists, is distinct from creation, and has communicated to creation. Okay, are you with me? Atheism, no God. Deism, God, but non-communicative and uninvolved. The Abrahamic faiths, where there is a God distinct from his creation, but involved and communicative. And then fourthly, you have pantheism. And this is where God is everything. Everything is God. I'm God, you're God, the trees are God, the sea, the ocean, the clouds, the planets, all of the universe is God. God is all of the universe. Now, all of these worldviews have, by implication, the unavoidable implications of how we must view evil and suffering. Let me encourage you to ask yourself, what is your belief system? What is your worldview? What does it tell you about evil? What does it tell you about suffering? How you should respond? And how does it equip you, if at all, to cope with evil and suffering? Now, beginning in the next segment, we're going to look more closely at what makes up a biblical worldview.